The restaurant was quiet. Not completely silent, but the kind of quiet that makes every small detail feel important. Soft music drifted through the air. Warm golden lights reflected across polished tables. Outside, Shanghai glowed beneath the night sky. Towers sparkled in the distance. Traffic moved like flowing rivers of light through the city streets. Inside, nobody knew that an ordinary evening would soon become the center of endless speculation and fascination. Or perhaps it would be more accurate to say that nobody expected a simple dinner to become a story people could not stop talking about. What really happened that night? What did people think they saw? And why has the mystery continued capturing attention long afterward? Stay with us until the end because this story takes us inside a cinematic evening filled with atmosphere, emotion, curiosity, and moments that left everyone wondering if there was more happening beneath the surface than anyone realized. The evening began like countless others. Staff members prepared the restaurant for another busy night. Tables were arranged carefully. Glasses sparkled beneath warm lighting. The kitchen moved with practiced precision. Servers reviewed reservations and welcomed arriving guests. Everything felt routine, comfortable, predictable. Then the atmosphere changed. Not dramatically, not instantly, just gradually, like a subtle shift in the wind before a storm. A few employees noticed increased activity near the entrance. Others observed additional attention from guests sitting nearby. Whispers started spreading quietly through different corners of the restaurant. Something unusual was happening. Someone important had arrived. The excitement remained controlled, professional, respectful, yet curiosity was impossible to ignore. Among those arriving that evening were Lei and Zhao Lusi in this narrative. Neither appeared interested in attracting attention. Neither seemed focused on creating a public spectacle. Instead, they entered with calm expressions and settled into a private area away from the busiest sections of the restaurant. At first glance, nothing seemed extraordinary. Two people sharing dinner. Two familiar faces enjoying a quiet evening. A completely normal situation. Yet what happened next became the source of endless discussion. According to our story, staff members later remembered the atmosphere more than anything else. The atmosphere felt different, relaxed, comfortable, natural. The kind of comfort that cannot easily be rehearsed. The kind of ease people display when conversation flows effortlessly. As dishes arrived, the evening unfolded gradually. There were no dramatic moments, no shocking revelations, no headline-worthy announcements. Instead, there were conversations, laughter, stories, small moments. The kind of moments that often reveal more about people than grand public appearances ever could. One staff member in this narrative recalled noticing how focused both individuals seemed during their conversations. Phones rarely appeared. Distractions seemed unimportant. Their attention remained on each other and the discussion unfolding between them. In today's world, where people constantly glance at screens and notifications, that detail stood out. Time seemed to slow. The restaurant remained busy. Guests arrived and departed. Orders moved between kitchen and dining area. Music continued playing softly. Yet within their corner of the room, everything appeared remarkably calm. At one point, according to the fictional account, a particularly funny story sparked genuine laughter. Not the polite laughter people offer during formal events. Not the carefully controlled laughter often seen in public appearances. This felt spontaneous, natural. The kind of laughter that immediately causes others nearby to smile without even knowing the joke. Several staff members noticed it. The energy shifted instantly. The atmosphere became lighter, warmer, more relaxed. As the evening progressed, Shanghai's skyline continued glowing outside the restaurant windows. The city looked magnificent. Towering buildings illuminated the darkness. Reflections danced across nearby water. The entire scene resembled something from a romantic drama, not because of what was happening at the table, but because of the environment surrounding it. The city itself felt like a character in the story. Alive, beautiful, full of possibility. Meanwhile, conversations continued. Topics shifted naturally. Work, life, funny memories, future ambitions. The discussion appeared effortless. That was another detail people remembered. Nobody seemed to be forcing conversation. Nobody appeared uncomfortable. The interaction felt genuine. As hours passed, the restaurant gradually became less crowded. The noise level softened. More tables emptied. The evening settled into a peaceful rhythm. For the staff, this often became their favorite part of the night. The busiest rush had ended. The atmosphere felt calmer. Guests appeared more relaxed. And on this particular evening, attention occasionally returned to the private dining area, not because anything dramatic was occurring, but because curiosity remained strong. Human beings naturally notice moments that feel meaningful, even when they cannot explain why. One staff member later described seeing expressions that seemed unusually sincere. Moments of reflection. Moments of amusement. Moments where conversation appeared deeper than casual small talk. Whether those observations meant anything significant remained impossible to know. Yet they contributed to the growing mystery. That mystery became even stronger later in the evening. At one point, according to the fictional story, the conversation appeared to turn more thoughtful. The laughter became less frequent. Expressions became more serious. Not unhappy. Not tense. Simply reflective. Like two people discussing important experiences. Important decisions. Important memories. The atmosphere changed once again. The surrounding restaurant remained beautiful. Soft lighting created warm shadows. Music continued floating gently through the air. Outside, Shanghai sparkled beneath the night sky. Inside, the conversation seemed increasingly meaningful. Staff members respected privacy. Nobody attempted to listen. Nobody interrupted. Yet body language often tells stories of its own. The way people lean forward when engaged. The way they smile when remembering something special. The way their expressions soften during sincere conversation. These small details became part of the legend surrounding the evening. Hours continued passing. The dinner showed no signs of feeling rushed. That detail attracted attention as well. In busy lives filled with schedules and obligations, time becomes valuable. People rarely spend hours in conversation unless they genuinely enjoy the company. Whether friendship, professional respect, or something else entirely, comfortable conversation requires connection. That observation fueled even more curiosity. As dessert arrived, the mood reportedly shifted again. The serious discussions gave way to lighter moments. More laughter returned. More smiles appeared. The atmosphere felt brighter. Several nearby guests noticed the positive energy. Not because anyone was seeking attention, simply because genuine happiness tends to stand out naturally. One fictional employee remembered the scene vividly. The restaurant lights seemed warmer than usual. The city outside looked breathtaking. The evening carried a calm energy that was difficult to describe. Nothing dramatic happened, yet the entire experience felt memorable. Sometimes memorable moments are not created by excitement. Sometimes they are created by simplicity. The simplicity of conversation. The simplicity of shared laughter. The simplicity of enjoying a quiet evening away from public attention. Eventually, the evening approached its conclusion. The restaurant had become much quieter. Only a few guests remained. Staff members completed closing preparations. The night was slowly coming to an end. According to this account, both individuals appeared relaxed as they prepared to leave. There was no sense of hurry. No visible pressure. Just the calm feeling that often follows an enjoyable evening. As they exited the restaurant, Shanghai continued shining around them. The city remained alive despite the late hour. Lights stretched across the skyline. The streets hummed softly, with distant activity. The atmosphere felt almost cinematic. For a brief moment, it seemed like the ending of a movie scene. Then they disappeared into the night. The evening was over, yet the story was only beginning. In the days that followed, people continued discussing the dinner. Not because anyone knew exactly what had been said. Not because anyone possessed secret information. But because mystery captures imagination. People wondered about the conversations, the laughter, the atmosphere, the moments that made the evening feel memorable. And perhaps that is why stories like this continue fascinating audiences. Human beings love connection. They love wondering about relationships. They love imagining the stories behind ordinary moments. A simple dinner becomes interesting because people see pieces of themselves within it. Everyone has experienced meaningful conversations. Everyone has shared laughter over dinner. Everyone has enjoyed evenings they wished could last a little longer. Those universal experiences make stories feel relatable. Whether involving celebrities or ordinary people, the emotions remain familiar. Comfort,
Joy.
curiosity, connection. Looking back, perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the evening was not what happened. It was what did not happen. There were no dramatic confrontations, no shocking announcements, no sensational scenes. Instead, there was conversation, atmosphere, human connection. And sometimes those quiet moments become the most memorable of all. The staff members who witnessed pieces of the evening did not remember controversy. They remembered warmth. They remembered laughter. They remembered an atmosphere that felt genuine. Most importantly, they remembered a night that seemed ordinary on the surface, yet somehow unforgettable. Maybe that is the true reason the story continues attracting attention. Not because it offers answers, but because it leaves room for imagination. It allows people to wonder, to speculate, to create their own interpretations. And in a world where so many stories arrive with clear conclusions, mysteries remain surprisingly powerful. Whether you view this fictional dinner as a story about friendship, professional respect, meaningful conversation, or simply two people enjoying a peaceful evening in one of the world's most beautiful cities, one thing remains certain. The image is difficult to forget. A glowing Shanghai night, a quiet restaurant, hours of conversation, moments of laughter, moments of reflection, and an atmosphere that left everyone wondering what made the evening feel so special. What do you think happened during this dinner in Shanghai? Do you believe the most meaningful moments are often the quietest ones? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the discussion. If you enjoyed this story, share it with fellow entertainment fans and keep the conversation going. Stay connected for more fascinating celebrity features, dramatic storytelling, and unforgettable behind-the-scenes inspired stories that spark curiosity and imagination.